Hello, so the story we'll be reading today is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, because of limited time, we'll explain the story into two parts, so this is part 1. Once upon a time in a peaceful kingdom by the sea, the king and queen were blessed with a baby girl. Her hair was black as night, her lips were as red as rubies, and her skin was white as snow. The queen named her Snow White. There was a great rejoicing throughout the kingdom, but the joy soon turned to mourning when the queen fell ill and died. After many months, the king remarried. However, the woman he chose as his bride was very different from Snow White's mother. The new queen was wicked and vain. She cared for nothing but her own beauty. Every morning, the queen would visit her magic mirror and ask the same question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who in this realm is the fairest of all? Every morning, the magic mirror replied, You, my queen, are the fairest of all. For years, the mirror gave the same answer to the queen's question. The queen gave no thought to Snow White, who was growing into a beautiful young woman. Beloved by everyone in the kingdom, Snow White was as gentle as she was lovely. One day, the queen visited the mirror and asked the usual question. This time, however, she received a different answer. You, my queen, may have a beauty quite rare, but Snow White is 1,000 times more fair. Mad with jealousy, the queen sent for the royal huntsman. She ordered him to take Snow White into the forest and kill her at once. Fearing for his life, the huntsman took Snow White into the woods. But when she looked at him with her gentle eyes full of trust, the huntsman could not bring himself to carry out the queen's order. He left Snow White in the forest and warned her to never return to the castle. The sky grew dark as Snow White wandered deeper and deeper into the forest. Her dress caught on a bush, and she heard a wolf howl in the distance. Snow White was terribly frightened, but she willed herself to continue walking. Just when Snow White feared that she could not take another step, she found herself in a clearing beside a tiny cottage. She knocked once on the wooden door, but there was no answer. The force of her knock caused the door to swing open, and Snow White stepped inside. She saw 7 little cups and 7 little plates on a table surrounded by 7 little chairs. 7 little nightshirts hung on 7 little hooks, and along one wall stood 7 little beds. The cottage was cozy, but untidy. Perhaps if I tidy this little cottage, she thought, no one would mind if I have a little bit of dinner and warm myself by the fire. Snow White cleaned the cottage until it shone. Only then did she take a bit of bread. She sat down on one of the beds to wait for someone to come home. Snow White was tired, and the bed was so cozy that she soon fell fast asleep. While she slept, 7 dwarfs came into the clearing. They sang and talked as they opened the door, but fell silent at the sight of the maiden sleeping on the bed. She looked so peaceful that they let her sleep. Snow White awoke to find herself surrounded by 7 kind faces. The dwarves welcomed her to the cottage and asked how she had found their home. Snow White told the dwarves about the evil queen and her flight through the dark forest. The dwarves took pity on Snow White and asked her to stay with them. She was happy to keep the house tidy and make supper for the dwarves. Back at the castle, the evil queen gazed into her mirror and asked, Mirror, mirror on the wall, who in this realm is the fairest of all? The mirror replied, You, my queen, have a beauty quite rare, but beyond the mountains, where the 7 dwarfs dwell, Snow White is thriving, and I must tell, within this realm she is still 1,000 times more fair. The queen flew into a rage. She began to search for Snow White. When the queen found the cottage in a clearing, she disguised herself as a poor seamstress, calling out, Gowns for sale! Snow White welcomed the seamstress and tried on one of the lovely dresses. The evil queen pulled the laces so tight that Snow White could not breathe, and she fell to the floor, bound in the lovely gown. The dwarfs came home at evening to find Snow White lying motionless on the ground. They quickly cut the laces that stifled her, and to their great relief, she breathed deeply and opened her eyes. See you next time. Oh wow, so the queen decided to become an assassin and do an assassination attempt on a girl that she's jealous of. Very interesting. Alright, I hope that you like the story. I also hope that you like this apple. It will become a bit more relevant in the second half. So see you next time. Bye-bye.